Big weekend.
They all are.
Where do you think your group is at right now? You've got a couple of wins from Mercyhurst, and on paper this should be a tougher go around this weekend. Do you like the way it's building through this?
We made it pretty tough last week, but we've had the first week. It gave us something to work with jumping in with our team and film, and like Friday night, we left our brains in Dinkytown, and we came with all heart. Like our guys were chomping and ready to go, but we didn't even resemble how we have to play, and they know it. I mean, I think they actually, having the crowds back and the great student section, and we had a feel, and it was, we're on the bench. It was like, what is going on out there? And I love Paul Martin is laid back as it comes. He comes out between periods. What's going on in that bench? We have no idea. But they gathered it together. We made some individual plays. We were much better Saturday. Staying connected, staying inside the structure we want, but we were just so loose. So that's really, when you ask where we're at, you can already tell it. We tried to get through that weekend. Wish we would have been played 2 weeks ago too, and we'd have 2 of those weeks behind us because the speed limit goes up now. And but we got to get a little structure back in our game.
You look at the team and how it's come together to this point. Is it what you've envisioned? Even though the details weren't all.
Yeah, the thing that really was that you can see for us, and as I've had a couple of conversations with coaches around the country right now. Like, I don't think Mercyhurst had a freshman, and there is a lack of freshmen in college hockey right now because of what went on. And we're playing a bunch of them, and you can see we're going to need a little growth for those young guys to catch up, and they're integral parts of what we're doing. And we watched us do that 2 years ago with the young D corps, and last year with that many freshmen and sophomore D. Well, now we got some older guys, and those young guys have to blend together. And so are we from a locker room? When I walk in with that group, love them, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this group. But are we playing like end of the season? Like you see, a couple teams around the country are already in mid-season form. We're not even close to it.
How about the importance of these non-conference games? You have Duluth as well, another NCAC. This is St. Cloud, ranked number 2. I mean, these carry weight all season long, even though it is October.
Non-conference is as important as your conference games. The computer, dictates who's in the tournament, and it doesn't know the difference between conference and non-conference. And so it's important from that standpoint. Important for us back in state. We got the next 2 series are in-state rivals, and important weekend. But you're going to get the same thing in 3 weeks when we play Notre Dame. I mean, college hockey every weekend's huge. It's a series of playoffs. Every weekend's a playoff series, so it's going to be exciting.
How about for you, rolling back into the National Hockey Center?
Yeah, I know the way there. I won't get lost. I can tell you that.
Bob, what is it like, I'll say, playing that team that you're so familiar with? The players know the other players. I mean, just the familiarity. I mean, is it fun, or is it more aggravating to play a team that you know so much about?
Well, we played them once, and like a decade to all of us is, to me, I always say that's a generation for us. A decade, things turn over. To a college, 4 years. It's all different. And those young kids there, they don't know who I am. Trust me, you just move on. We're just in our locker room, and the guys were just talking about who were the Hobie Baker finalists. I think the year McCarr won, and somebody said Jimmy Schultz, and someone in our locker was, who's Jimmy Schultz? like another one of our players just recently, Paul Martin was talking, walked away, and one of our players said, did he play in the NHL? That is what you're dealing with today with young kids. So when you ask me, everybody's so familiar, they're not. I'm telling you. Now we all know the names and where it's at, but to these knuckleheads, so we have to have, and that's a true story I just told you. Did he play in the NHL? So we've sat down and We had fun with it, trust me.
Do you have to give a history lesson at any point, or is it just beyond that now?
I just think it's, you know, I don't know, maybe it wasn't enough video games. I don't know, like, I don't know that, so.
Bob, what's it like for you? I know you're obviously very familiar with the Brodzinski family, but the fact that it's kind of a brothers matchup and there's kind of a special thing here, I can see, you know, their father too, just to kind of see that this weekend.
Like, this is an old subject for me, because when we had Johnny and Mike was here, you all did all the stories on Brodzinski's and his dad, so we gotta do it again. Like, it's really, honestly, yeah, I mean, the dad and I played together, and he's a really close friend of mine. I've coached 3 of his boys. Their genetic stamp as hockey players are just, it's all the same. And little intrigue, because now you got 2 forwards are gonna go against each other, and, you know, Easton's able to come back for a 5th year, and he's a goal scorer, Bryce is a goal scorer. They both scored last weekend, you know. Let them have at it. I think it's a great storyline.
What do you see in St. Cloud? What have you looked at? What have you seen on film that you've seen?
Honestly, you're gonna ask me a question. You know what we spent the last 2 days watching? Was go for hockey. I'm telling you, because what we did this weekend, we gotta fix what we're doing right now. So you guys all come back tomorrow, and we'll talk about St. Cloud, because, and he was gonna ask me, so you didn't waste your time.
I'm not asking that anymore.
I mean, when you give up 7 goals on a weekend, you know, breakaways, 2-on-1s, you know, 2 on the penalty kill. We were here late last night, and it's, you know, we didn't have duct tape out, but we had some things we have to identify, and we're digging into St. Cloud now. I'm not, very well structured. You know, they got offense, they got balance on 3 lines for offense, they got returning players, and they're hardly playing they didn't play freshmen.
2.
I don't think so.
They're playing one. I know. So they're ranked high for a reason. They were in the championship game a year ago, and Lars has done a terrific job. And you know, it's a great matchup.
Bob, I heard a coach say once, if I feel an underclassman is ready to go right to the NHL, I'll drive him to the airport. Sample Rent is on the final roster for the Colorado Avalanche, along with 18 other Gophers who made final rosters. Kind of a feather in the cap for your program, for what you've done here in the first 3 years?
Yeah, and then we changed that to what we'll call an Uber. You know? So, you know, when you're ready now.
Yeah.
So Sample, big, strong. I mean, is it surprising? No. I mean, he's physically capable of handling anything, and and mature. You know, really a mature kid for a pro lifestyle. You know, you tip your hat, wish him the best, and he did everything for our. Like, you know, he meant the world to this program, and he means the world to us, and so we're excited for him.
Bob, you mentioned that the non-conference games are so important, almost more important than your conference games. How do you balance developing your roster, like working with your penalty kill forwards or putting Hughlin at center? How do you balance developing that part of your team with getting results?
Honestly, you started off with non-conference, and then you switched it, so you kind of
The
you
game,
confused me.
winning is so important right now, but you also want to develop your team along.
Yeah,
and how do you balance that?
Well, it's you just have to completely keep your eye on the ball. Of you know how we look today, we want to look better. You know, a month from now, and these games come up, they're exciting. We're gonna make some mistakes, and sometimes, like for us, like we even had our meeting. We have to put freshmen in key spots right now, and we just have to put them there, and they're gonna get better. I mean, and it was a pretty good weekend for them last weekend. I talked to a coach out east this morning and said they had a freshman defenseman that went into the corner, and the guy on a battle that he lost, and you know they kind of got into it in the game, and then the assistant coach after the game said there was an 8-year difference between the player he went into the corner with, because that player was 26 years old, and that's you're getting a lot of older guys back right now. We have no choice. We got to play our young guys, and they're gonna be fine in time, you know, and they're good right now. So. So the big picture, you sure want to pick up wins. Trust me, we're going to go for it. But I'm pretty patient. You know, at my age, I have to be. And I know what our team is capable of doing. We're not there yet. We just got to get there. And this is a great weekend for us to grow up more. We'll try to win too.
So if we build this as a top 5 national battle, are we overselling it?
Are the polls right? I mean, you know, you heard me say polls early in the season are just toilet material. Let's bring the polls out, you know, December 1st and give you a little bit more, you know. And I like being where we are, but let's go earn it. You know, I trust me, not one time do we sit in our office and talk about the polls. Ever. Like, what number are we ranked and are they ranked? Like, no coach, I can't believe there's a coach in football or hockey that are gonna go in October and start talking about polls. That's what you guys do. Have at it. Knock yourself out. Polls don't forecheck, polls don't backcheck, polls don't make saves. They're nice, and we like to be at the top of it, but we gotta go earn it. And so they're useless today. And there's only one poll I really follow. That's pairwise. It's way too early for that.
Bob, I know that you probably want to keep focused on hockey this week, but is there any sentimental value in playing St. Cloud, or will there be moments as you get ready for this battle that you'll reflect on the memories you made there?
Yeah, I think I kind of had, I was there 13 years, you know, that's a long time, okay? And honestly, with what Lars is doing, they're happy I'm gone. You know, like, I mean, I loved every minute of my job there. I loved raising our family there. It was a perfect, but there was time for a change, and it came. I mean, anybody in here change jobs? No, I know you've been there forever, but you know, I mean, how many people raise your hand if you've changed jobs, changed, you know, to something new, and that's what it was. But is there sentiment? I'll always have sentimental value to the people and really the people that I worked with. I mean, Nick Oliver's over there on the staff, and he was a captain, and I love him dearly. And Jeremiah Mickle, the equipment manager, Ryan Denane, the trainer. You know, Tom Nelson retired. You know, those were the people that we were the closest with. You know, Heather and Morris are our ADs at the time, and you know, God bless, you know, President Potter. Those were just people close in our life, and then all the players that we follow. I know who Jimmy Schultz is. You know, we had to explain it to our kid in there. But you could go around all the locker rooms; it'd be the same thing. Sentimental, yeah, but you know, it'd be weird. It'd be a little weird too at times. So it's what it is.
Bob, 2 weeks ago you said Rhett Pitlick was battling a little injury. Is he available if you need him this weekend? I know you got some juggling to do.
I think he is, yeah. We lost 2 players in warm-ups yesterday, on a Monday practice in warm-ups, so we'll see how it goes.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
By the way, I like my job. You know, I like, you know.
We're gonna cut Jack off after about 5 minutes, guys.
Jack, what did you learn about your team last weekend?
I learned that we're not out of it. Like, no matter, like, obviously we didn't have our best weekend, but we fought back and, I mean, pulled out a win, which says a lot for our group. Like, we obviously could have shied down and lost that second game, but we pulled through.
Is there extra motivation for a series like this weekend? It's an in-state rivalry, your brother's on the team, it's also, you know, your coach's former team. Like, does that add an extra oomph to this?
Oh yeah, like you can even tell in our locker if you walk in there, it's amped up. So we're excited. We're fixing little things that, you know, we need help on, but it's definitely at a new level right now, which is exciting, especially playing my brother. You know.
Have you been like talking with him this week so far? Is it kind of like radio silence to the
Oh,
game?
no.
Or?
We probably won't talk for a month. Hopefully we beat them, and he definitely will not want to talk to me. But yeah, so even last year when we played, after we beat them, we didn't even talk for like probably 2 weeks. Like he wouldn't come up and see my family because he knew that I was up there. it was fun.
Bryce was saying how he's got a lot of texts going back and forth. Do you kind of shut it down then,
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as talking to people?
I would say that, like, regarding my brother, I'd say we're the opposite. Like, we're not communicating right now. Like, yes, I mean, he's my brother. I still love him, but I'm a Gopher. He's a Husky, so hopefully Gophers come out on top.
What do your parents do? What do they wear?
My mom hates it. My mom actually hates it when we play each other. It's because someone's got to lose, obviously. So, but my dad is the complete opposite. He loves us competing against each other, and I don't know. We got a lot of family coming, so I guess half will be in Gopher gear. Like my dad's side of the family, they've been Gopher fans growing up, so hopefully they'll be in Gopher gear, and then I'm sure my mom will force some other people to wear some St. Cloud gear.
How much do you look forward to something like this? Because obviously it's such a special thing, and the fact that it's not going to happen forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm grateful to not only play at this level, but play against my brother first of all. And I mean, he's a great player, so it'll be fun to compete against him. You know, going in the corners, I'd toss my body at him a little more than I would against anyone else. So I don't know. It's a blessing. It's fun.
Do you have a scouting report of him? Any secrets you can give away about or what you might expect of him on the ice?
I'm just hoping the plant is butt on the ice whenever I go against him. No, he's an offensive forward, but he's good defensively as well. He's a great player, but hopefully we can get after his weaknesses.
Coach said defense has been an emphasis the last 2 days after giving up 7 goals last weekend. What do you need to concentrate on there? Where do you need to be better?
We just need to get back to the house. You know, if you go back on film, we were too scattered in the D zone. We just got to get back to the house and then branch out from there, rather than trying to get the puck going offense right away. We got to make sure that we actually get the puck first of all.
Jack kind of reminding everybody why he got that big trophy a few times last weekend too.
Oh yeah.
What does he mean to your team right now?
He's the backbone of our team. There's saves that not many goalies make that we can depend on him making, and it's huge to have him back there. So yeah, we're grateful to have him back for another year.
Anything else?
We heard the team had to get a little history lesson on Paul Martin. Were you aware of Paul's NHL history and things like that in the locker room, and what's that talk like?
I was very much so aware. See, he's from Elk River, and so am I. So he's been an idol of mine since I could barely speak. My dad has been a fan of him for how long, and him coaching last year is, eye-opening, and the things that he's taught our team as a whole is crazy. Like, he's helped our team tremendously, and even mentally in that aspect as well. So he's a great asset to our team.
Sample made the Avalanche roster. You guys trade texts or anything like that? Congratulate him.
We're pumped.
Yeah.
We were all texting about it, but right as it happened, and we're pumped for Sample. He works his butt off, so he deserved it.
Gonna get some tickets maybe when the Avalanche come here if it works out.
If he can get that many.
Anything else for Jack?
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
He has to run to get to class.
Yeah, sorry.
Education
Class
first.
at Lawrence here at the University of
Student
Minnesota.
athlete?
Yeah. And then we'll have Bryce Brodzinski in just 1 minute.
Bryce, can you inch just a little bit closer to the podium right there? Thank you.
So after last weekend, we're gonna have to assume that you're eating breakfast again?
No, I haven't been eating breakfast much lately, actually. Yeah, I know. Practices are a little bit early for me. I'm not much of a morning guy, so I sort of wake up and go. So I haven't been much of a breakfast guy lately.
That was the secret last year, though, right?
It was, during playoffs, it was a little bit, but that's because they forced us to wake up early to go eat breakfast. So yeah, no, not lately. I haven't been.
Just early in the season, how important is it to get on the score sheet and kind of get a little bit of confidence built?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, past couple of years, McLaughlin's kind of had struggled getting out like right away, and it was really big for us to, me and Sammy wanted to get him a goal early because, past couple of years he's kind of struggled early, and just getting him going, and it kind of showed last weekend. He was one of the best players on the ice the entire weekend, and I think that's big for everyone. It's just to get our team going right away, get a few goals in us, and kind of everyone on our team, kind of had a play in a lot of the goals, and I think that was really big for everybody.
Bryce, it's no secret as far as what this, I'll say, rivalry means with your family. I mean, what does it mean to you to see your brother out there, and you had 2 other brothers that obviously played in this before this? What does it mean to your family?
Yeah, I mean, my parents don't like it very much because they have to kind of pick a side, but, you know, my dad's a St. Cloud guy. He'll probably be wearing St. Cloud, so I'm the youngest kid. My mom will probably be wearing the Gopher stuff. And but yeah, no, it's always fun. I mean, going to the games when my older brothers played against each other was the best time ever. I mean, I have never had a chance to play at the Herb, and those were my favorite games ever to go watch, was St. Cloud versus Minnesota at the Herb. And you know, I'm just really excited to go play there.
Yeah, but will there be any communication between you and your brother, or is it like on radio silence? I'll say like what Jack said. He's like, oh my God, we might not speak for a month.
Yeah, no. Me and my brother are pretty close, so I talk to him pretty much every day. And maybe Thursday, Friday comes around, I probably cut ties with him a little bit. But I think until then, I'll probably be pretty close with him still.
2 weeks ago, his story, coming back from the injury, was the sentimental one everybody was talking about. Are you over that now? Ready to just look at him as an opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I was never sentimental with him. I was always the one telling him, "Oh, you got to walk normal." And I was kind of taking my dad's side. My dad was always a little hard on him because he wanted him to get going before the season going. So, I was always hard on him, telling him he was milking his injury. And even though I knew he wasn't, he was going through one of the hardest injuries to come back from. And I always give him a hard time. And so after he scored the goals, I texted him. I was like, "See, I told you, you're not hurt." Like, just giving him a hard time. And so, he was super excited to get back into it. And I know my parents really were too. So, that was huge for him and really his entire career, is to have that weekend.
I know that, Bob has been a friend of the family for a long time, right? Played with your dad and obviously coached a lot of you guys. Like, just what is it like to play for him, or what is it like to have that kind of connection with your coach?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's cool and bad, because sometimes I'm doing something wrong. He'll text my dad and tell me that he has to yell at me too. So now I'm getting phone calls and meetings with Motzko, and then I get home and my dad's yelling at me for something I did at practice too. So, it's a blessing and a curse, because I kind of take it in both ears. But it's awesome because everything that Motzko sees or something, he tells my dad, and he kind of lets me know what he sees. And so I'm really getting a lot of advice from a lot of really good hockey players and great coaches in my life, and that's something I really like.
Does it add like some extra motivation too, that like you're playing as former team, right? Like, I know they didn't part ways in horrible terms or anything, but it's still like, that he was their coach, now he's your coach. You want to like show that this team is better.
Yeah, I mean, St. Cloud and Minnesota has always been a huge rivalry. So regardless if he was our coach, it's still going to be a huge game. And he obviously wants to win it really bad, because he's a winning coach, and he's always he doesn't really matter what we do, he just wants to win. And he definitely really wants to win this weekend.
Bryce, for you personally, you came in with the Mr. Hockey tag around you and the USA Hockey Award, and some of those things that you came into the school with, some pretty high expectations. This is your third year now. Have you thought about just the step maybe that you need to take this year?
Yeah, past 2 years I've been trying, and some things just haven't worked out. A few bad bounces, and kind of end of last year I was starting to figure it out a little bit, and before I would kind of panic with the puck, and end of last year I sort of figured out how much time you really have if you just sort of open up and kind of pick your head up. And playing with Walker and McLaughlin, it's super easy to find them, and you hit them and you just get open, and you're going to get the puck back at some point. And so I think just playing with them has been a really big part of my growth, and having a big season this year, because they're two of the best players in the country, and luckily I get to play with them.
And what did you learn about your team last weekend? Your coach said, defensively you needed to work on some things, but just generally getting 2 wins and scoring the goals you did. What did you learn about yourself?
Our team's got a lot of fight. We were down, twice in that game and came back both times, and I think that was really big for us to show that, we can, even when we're down, we can kind of fight back, and we're never really out of games because of how skilled we are. And I think just us being able to score that many goals in a game, and kind of showing that we can come back at any time was really big for our guys to see.
You kind of waited that extra second on one of the goals this weekend. Was that just kind of that experience? Did you have your head up and see that you had that kind of time, or?
Oh no, I was almost falling over on that play, so I lost the puck a little bit, so I was just trying to figure out where I was on the ice, and luckily it popped back to me a little bit, and I was able to reach it. And my dad always yells at me if I don't shoot under the bar, so I just sort of threw it there, and luckily it was open.
It's nice to have Danny in the family. One more Gopher voice on your side, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. She texts me all the time, and she texts me after the game and tweets at me all the time, and so yeah, she's awesome to have around. And You know, her and Michael, I've been just super close with them. I mean, especially this summer, me and Michael have grown a lot closer, and I think that's been a big part for my hockey game as well.
Bryce, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.